Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Gina and let's talk about plants. So today's video is going to be a monthly Planty update, and that is for the month of September. And there's actually not a whole lot new in my houseplant collection. I don't think I added anything new. I did add some new plants, so maybe I will show you a couple of new plants, although you guys have already seen them if you watched my houseplant tours. So maybe that's why I feel like there's not a whole lot new, because I have shown you guys so much in the last few weeks, through the whole month, through this whole month, and half of last month with all these houseplant tours. So, but you know, there are a few things. I have found a few things to share with you guys. So yeah, let's get started. So I guess we'll start with kind of what I feel is like the least exciting update, and that is this plant right here. So this is my Hoya krohniana black, and I think it was in one of the houseplant tours I pointed out that this plant was in decline. So what was happening is that it was losing leaves. Leaves were turning yellow, mostly on the back here, which is the side that faces the window. And the leaves were turning yellow and dropping off. So I figured this plant probably had dry rot or root rot. And I was just, I don't know, at the time I was feeling kind of overwhelmed, I guess, and I was just ignoring it. I decided to just ignore this plant, and it cured itself. I don't know how, but it has stopped turning yellow. It is not losing any more leaves. I do not see any new growth whatsoever. The stems look pretty dry. There's no new soft or nice green new growth, stem growth. It's all just kind of woody, but it's not losing any more leaves. So that's good news. No more yellow leaves, no more dropping leaves. And so I think this plant is done. Its season is done. It got through the summer, it survived through the summer, it can rest up through the winter, and then I think next spring, next summer, it'll probably start growing again. But, so yeah, for me this is like the least exciting thing, but it's really good news. It really is good news, and it's a good update. So I guess I will show you some of the new plants that I added to my collection. And so if you watched my Scindapsus collection video, I mentioned that there were a couple Scindapsus that I really wanted to add to my collection, and I did. So I will show you, I think I just added 3 more to my collection. So let me grab these, which are right on the shelf right here, and we will take a look at them. So the one I really wanted to add to my collection was the Scindapsus Silver Cloud. So I got on Etsy, which is my usual go-to place for plants. If I'm not shopping in my own shop, I don't shop in my own shop, but I gotta plug my own shop, right? Anyway, so I like to go to Etsy. And actually I kind of do shop in my own shop sometimes. Sometimes I'll keep some things I've grown in there. But anyway, okay, so this is the Scindapsus Silver Cloud, which is a beautiful silvery plant. I've had it probably, I would say, maybe 3 weeks now, and I'm getting a new leaf, that's new. That was not there when it arrived. So this one seems to have adjusted to my home nicely, and I just love it. Can't wait to watch this one grow. So while I was on Etsy looking at the shop, I did come across another Scindapsus, because the shop had quite a few different types. Mostly ones I already have, but I did find a couple that I don't have. One, the Silver Cloud, and the other one is this one, the Scindapsus Platinum. So I think both of these arrived with 3 leaves, and this one is a pretty fast grower. In the last 3 weeks, I've gotten this new one to open, and there's already another one on the way. So doing really well. Scindapsus platinum, another beautiful silvery Scindapsus. And then the third one that I said I really wanted to get is the Variegated Jade Scindapsus. And this one arrived maybe like a week, maybe more like 2 weeks after the other ones. So this one is, I've probably only had this one for a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks in my home, and I don't see there is no sign of any new growth on this one yet. So we'll see what happens with this one. I don't know. We will see. But it is beautiful. It's got some little mark there, which is a little concerning. I don't know. But yeah. Happy to have it in my collection. I just hope it will do okay in my collection and continue to grow, or to grow for me. We shall see. So I think that's all the new plants I'm going to share. I think that's it in this monthly Planty update. All right, so this next one I want to share with you guys. I had to go get it because it lives in my dining room, and it is a glorious plant. Does that give you any sort of hints? So this is my Philodendron gloriosum, and this plant. All right, so you see how big, ooh, it's dripping on me. Yuck. I watered it yesterday, and I thought I checked to see that all the water had drained out, but I guess it didn't. Oh well. Anyway, so this one I found at Lowe's. Can you believe that? This gorgeous plant. I found it at Lowe's, and it was so tiny. So if I think I can find some video or an image to put up here for you guys to see what it looked like when I got it, because it was just a tiny little thing. It was just a few leaves. It wasn't what I would call beautiful, not like this today. And it was like $8 at Lowe's. And probably I would say my greatest find ever at a big box store, because this thing is just gorgeous. And you guys don't see it enough. You don't get to see it enough. Look at this big giant new growth here. It's just, and I have it in this clear planter so I can keep an eye on those roots. I do have some beneficials on this one because it did at one point have some thrips, but I took care of those thrips, and it's ever since I took care of those thrips, it's just exploded, and it's beautiful. It's just so beautiful. That's the Philodendron gloriosum dripping all over me, and I love it. So yeah, that is the update on this plant. Philodendron gloriosum. Okay, so this next one I want to talk about, to give an update on, is my variegated Monstera adansonii. So if you remember, this was an import plant that I was sent, and I had put this on the fireplace mantle. And if you remember, I wasn't sure how well it was going to do on that fireplace mantle because it's pretty far from the window. It's near a southeast facing window. The room is kind of bright. I mean, it is pretty bright in the mornings, and apparently it's enough for this plant, because my concern was that I was going to lose the variegation on this plant being in a lower light situation. But here we have the newest leaf, and you can clearly see that it is nicely variegated still. It is not losing that variegation. So I'm super happy about that, because I love this on my fireplace mantle, and it's just a absolutely stunning plant. So that's the update on this one. Okay, speaking of stunning plants, this next one has absolutely knocked my socks off. All right, so this is my Syngonium mojito. Now this plant, it used to be on the trellis here, and for whatever reason, I can't remember exactly why, but I did have to chop this one down. I think maybe when I was treating for spider mites, I accidentally, I'm pretty sure looking here, I think that's what it is. I think I broke the stem. It was just, I mean, this thing was huge. It was like almost to the ceiling growing up there. And when I pulled it down, there was too much pressure on the stem down here, and it snapped. So I had to just chop the whole thing up. So I have a ton of babies in my grow tent, which are producing, look like, I mean, they still were just like a node and one leaf. And the one leaves they're okay looking, but I'm seeing the new leaves coming out. They're still rolled up, but I can see that they have some really nice variegation on them, so I'm super excited about those. But this plant, it has the new growth. Okay, so let's see here. I don't know if you can see it, but right here is where it snapped. So this is all new growth here. This is all new growth, and this might have been starting, I think this stem was starting before I snapped it, but I'm just shocked by how beautiful these leaves are coming out. They're just, every single one of them is just, they're like little works of art. They're just gorgeous. So I am just so excited about this plant. I want to get it back in here on the trellis. When I cut it, which is what I usually do, they end up going into my bedroom, sitting on the little cabinet in my bedroom, and to where they start growing back again. And then depending on how they look, they may end up back here on the trellis, because what'll happen most likely is some of these that are going up to the ceiling right now, I'll have to treat those, because, you know, Syngoniums and spider mites seems like an ongoing battle for me. You guys. Anyway, so I'm probably gonna need to, well, I am going to need to, well, I'm getting off track here, but I am trying beneficials on these plants to see if that might take care of the spider mites, and so far, I'm not seeing any like big results from that. And I really want to spray these plants. Gosh, I really want to spray these plants again with my DIY bug spray, but I don't want to kill those beneficial mites. So I'm kind of like, I kind of feel like I'm stuck at the moment, because I really want to spray them, but I don't want to kill the beneficials. But then I kind of feel like the beneficials might be working, but then also I'm still treating with Azamax, which is a pesticide, but I was only doing like half an ounce of the Azamax in water, and I upped it to an ounce, because the way the Azamax works is, I use it as a soil drench. You can use it as a spray. You can spray the bugs on your plants, or you can just water your plants with it, which is what I prefer to do. So, and how it works is the roots uptake that pesticide, and then when the spider mites get on the plant, or when they're on the plant, they eat the plant and they ingest the pesticide, and that stops their reproduction. I don't believe it actually kills the adults, but it makes them so they can't reproduce. So it stops the cycle. So, gosh, I've gone off on a tangent here. way off topic. But so like I said, I upped my dosage from half an ounce of the Azamax to a full ounce. So I want to see, I don't know, you guys. Spider mites are such a pain in the butt, I have to say. But anyway, how we got here to this topic is eventually I'm going to have to, I think I'm going to need to spray these guys again. And some of these longer stems, typically what happens is the stem breaks on me, and then that's how I rotate things out, I guess, is the stems break and then I cut them, propagate the plants, move the mother plant to my bedroom, and then replace it with something else. So when that happens, this one is going to go back on the trellis because I just think it's just a gorgeous plant. Isn't that just stunning? It looks like it should be like hundreds and hundreds of dollars for one of these just because of that. Boy, this is an underrated plant right here. Syngonium mojito. Just love it. And I will be having some of these in my shop at some point because, like I said, I do have a bunch of babies from this plant. So, yeah. So that's the update on this one. Gorgeous update. Okay, so now I thought maybe I'd give you a little update on me. The person who is in charge of all these plants. So now I'm curious if any of you out there feel like I feel. So this is the time of year where I get the urge to purge. Like I get the urge to sell some of my plants. And I think what it is it's through the growing season, I am so busy. Like I'm doing more watering of plants. I'm doing more pest control. It's just everything is like, it's more. Everything is more. More growth, having to trim plants, propagate plants, repot plants. It's just like, it's more. And so at the end, when we start getting towards the end of the growing season, I'm like, I feel exhausted. I kind of feel exhausted, kind of a little bit burnt out. And that's when I started feeling like I want to purge some plants. So I'm kind of at that point right now. If I do purge any plants, it's not going to be like dramatic. You guys probably won't even notice. But there are some plants that are kind of on my chopping block right now. Just I feel like I just kind of want to make life a little bit easier for me. I still love so many of my plants. I still enjoy the hobby, but it's just the time of year when I start feeling this way. So I'm curious if any of you out there feel that way at the end of the growing season. I don't know. That's where I'm at. That's the update on me. Yeah. Okay, so I think that is it for updates in the house. And I do want to take you guys outside probably one last time just to show you how the gardens are doing. And I actually filmed this yesterday because it was supposed to be rainy and cloudy today, but it is kind of cloudy. Ooh, there's some beautiful clouds out there like thunderheads, but we still have blue sky and we still have sun. But see, I thought it was going to be rainy and cloudy all day today, but so I wanted to do it yesterday just so I knew I could get that in for this video because I do enjoy taking you guys outside to see the outdoor plantings, the gardens, the butterfly garden, my vegetable gardens, and some planters and all that stuff. So we're going to head outside. We're going to take a look at that stuff. So let's go. Here's our butterfly garden, looking all lush and beautiful. I think everything is blooming, pretty sure. And let me show you over here where I had my seeds I planted of purple coneflower. This is what's coming up of those. So no flowers this year, unfortunately, but next year it should be really fabulous. And this is probably our final look at this year. But I can't wait to see what it's gonna look like next year. It should be, like I said, it should be really fabulous. And look at my butterfly bush over here. It is so fragrant. It's just gorgeous. And the birds planted all these sunflowers that popped up here, which they're about done, but still so pretty. So the gardens, the vegetable gardens here are still producing. We're still getting tomatoes, and cucumbers are about done. These are the cucumbers here. They're about done, but we still have lots of tomatoes. Those are Romas. There's my little buddy. He always comes out when I come out here. He's looking for his peanuts. My squashes. We got this giant squash. Huge. It's not good to eat, so we're just leaving it out here. We have another big one here to decompose and just fertilize kind of the soil, I think. That's our thought. We're still producing some yellow squash. And the herbs, a lot of them are flowering. Some more sunflowers popped up here. Hi. Hello. Hi. It's getting a little too close. But he's not afraid of me. I mean, he kind of is, but he's not. And then a bunch of cherry tomatoes out here. My basil is all gone to seed, I guess, or flower. Hello. So cute. I should get him his peanuts. I will, very soon. And we do have some green peppers. Green peppers, and yeah, I'm gonna get his peanuts. Let me do that real quick. Okay, he got his peanuts and he ran off. So here's one of the planters, still looking gorgeous, and my lavender is really coming out. So pretty. And then these are blooming still. These are supposed to bloom in the fall, so I'm anxious to see what those are gonna look like. I found this at a thrift store. That was cute. And then the hollyhocks are pretty much done. So I'm gonna take a bunch of the seeds and drop them for next year. So yeah, that's my plan. And then the wildflowers on the other side are still looking really pretty, but we're not gonna go over there today. But here's my peach trees, they look good. And my apple trees are looking good. And yeah, that is everything. This is the final update. It's so sad. This is because I'm sure, here he's coming back for his peanuts. Or she got their peanut. I'm sure next month it will be October and the stuff, it's not gonna be looking so great, most likely. But next year, we'll come back out here next year. So what did you guys think? Did you enjoy seeing the outside gardens? they are just looking so beautiful, I think. And even later in the season like this, they're just blooming just so beautifully. And I have so many tomatoes. We're just eating tomatoes constantly, and it's wonderful, absolutely wonderful. So even though I'm kind of looking forward to a break from the outside also, not just things inside, but outside work, I'm kind of looking forward to a break from that. But I am really going to miss those tomatoes and cucumbers and squashes and the flowers. I am going to miss that. But next spring, we'll have it again next spring. So guess what? There is one more thing in the house I wanted to share with you guys. I almost totally forgot about it. So in a previous video, I mentioned that my African violets have been having so many issues, and I explained, you know, everything that's going on. And I decided that I wanted to repot those plants, get them out of self-watering pots and just in normal saucers, and bottom water those plants, or even water from the top, just making sure you don't get water on the crown of those plants. But yeah, so that's what I wanted to do. So I did that. Now, a few of you expressed interest in wanting to see the repotting of these plants, but I decided not to repot them. Let me show you what I did. Okay, so these self-watering pots, they come with reservoirs. So this cup sits in a reservoir. So all I did was I removed the reservoir that holds the water, and there was like a string, a cotton string that hung out of this, which is what wicks up the water in the reservoir and provides the water to the inside of this pot. So I removed the reservoir, I removed that wick, that string, and I went to the thrift and I found a bunch of these really pretty antique plates, and I'm just keeping my African violets in the original pot. I don't have to repot, and I'm just keeping them on these gorgeous plates, and I think that's going to work out. So there's nothing wrong with the soil. It's just these plants, because of the plug, and I don't want to go into the whole thing about what's going on with the African violets. Hopefully you can go back if you haven't. If you don't know what's going on, you can go back and watch the other videos and learn. But yeah, those little plugs, they're not constantly staying wet. The plant is able to dry out, and I think this might work. If it's not too late. If it's not too late for these plants, yeah, this should work. So let me show you. So this is one of the plates I picked up. Isn't that just so cute? So pretty. This one's made in Poland. And all of these plates I picked up for like $1, $1.50 I think was the most I paid. I think I got 8 plates, and the total with tax was like $9. So let me show you some of the other ones. I had fun like combining, like doing little combinations of the plates and the plants. So that's one. Let me grab another one for you guys. This one is oops, I just unplugged my light. Hang on one second. Okay, so this one is my very favorite combination I came up with. So there's this beautiful African violet with this gorgeous plate, and it just looks so pretty together. I'll have to show you a top down. I'll show you that. Maybe at the end of the video I can show you how it looks top down. But it's just so gorgeous together. And by the way, when I was saying like hopefully it's not too late for some of these plants, some of them are like they're kind of really bad shape, and most likely it is too late for those. So this plant here did not have one of those plugs. This is one I found locally, and if I lose, which I probably will, if I lose some of these plants, I am just going to replace them with locally found African violets. They're just as beautiful. This is probably my favorite African violet in my collection. Found it at the local nursery. Just look how pretty that is together. So this one, this is bone china made in England. It's just beautiful. I just love the way it looks. You know, it kind of makes me think of like a grandma, like just which is a comforting feeling. Like this is something my grandmother would have. You know what I mean? I don't know. There's just something so comforting and so beautiful about these for me. So yeah. So at the end of the video, I'll show you some of the other combinations, some of the other plates. I got some really pretty plates. I love these plates. I have an excuse to buy these plates because I don't use saucers like this with like teacups. I just don't, but I love them. So it's a good excuse to be able to have them. So yeah, so that's the update on my African violets. All right, you guys, so I think that's gonna be it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed seeing all of my monthly updates, my monthly Planty updates for September. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed yet, maybe hit that subscribe button. I do make new videos every week, twice a week, and I'd love to have you here as part of this community. So I hope you guys have a fabulous week coming up, and I really hope to see you in the next video. Bye.